This is really bizarre, training and people drinking right next to me. It's kind of cool, I like it. I think we should have more bars in gyms. It's leg day. Rules of leg day: wear a medium t-shirt so you can maximise feeling good about your upper body when all the blood just leaves it and goes to your legs and leaves you feeling like a noodle. This is my medium Gymshark Apollo. Look, trim the neck, look, what do you reckon? Chopped it off. Well, I think we're digging it. Although this should be a large t-shirt, I didn't realise it was a medium. Pump formula, ready to rock and roll. Here's the cool thing though, today we're going to BCB. One, because the lighting's beautiful. Two, because it houses one of our favourite human beings, Mr. Lewis from the CREWCast. And tonight, they're having a BCB members only lifting party. So we're going to go and check that out. And we're also going to cover some of the top leg movements that I've decided work for me if you've suffered from anything to do with glute injuries, bad knees, shitty hips. I'm going to go through postures, some little tricks and hacks on how to use some of the machinery you'll find in any old gym to make it work better for you, make it hit those muscle groups a little bit harder without smashing the joints to pieces. Right, let's go. Hit the nitros. Yeah! Break. Go. Speed this speed up so it looks really fast. Yeah! Do the stare and drive. That made my mum anxious. Right, you might know it's not at the gym because we're doing my usual macros. Is there a fingerprint on that lens? Can you see that? Let's use a mask for the only thing they're good for. There we go. Macros. Remember we did this before, we had a double cheeseburger. Today we're going with the chicken wrap. But pre-workout, high fat, high salt meals. We get a bit of protein in, simple carbs from the wrap. When we arrived there was a drive-through of, what do you reckon, 12 to 15 cars? Yeah. Because we're trying it through the McDonald's app. There's no more cars. We're still sat in bay 4. It would only let me order from bay 3. I'm hungry, dude. This was your idea. Here we go. Chicken and bacon, wrap of the day. We got the crispy one. If you want to be healthier, get it grilled. And also, don't go to McDonald's. So here we are back in the BCB with all that nice light. We just have a look at this car outside. If you don't know what that's an AC. Look how beautiful that is. It's got like just James Bond written all over it. That's super rare. Anyway, car people will appreciate that. We're back at BCB. Now there is a party going on here tonight, but we're going to crack straight on. We're going to be doing some legs, back and triceps today. But this is a mind to muscle week. We're finishing that off at this moment. There was a little bit of a hiccup in between for me, so I've kind of like restarted 1 week. So you guys might be on a slightly different time frame to me, but do not worry. We go volume, we go heavy, we go mind to muscle. Then we loop back volume, heavy, mind to muscle and keep looping like that. So this is mind to muscle, so we're looking to extend and squeeze at every contraction point, and we're looking to be controlled on every single negative. Massively important. We're training that mechanics and the movement for every motion for when we go into the volume and heavy weeks. Now, with me, or if you're anything like me, you will have found you can get some knee pain on these and it can feel a little unbalanced, like maybe you feel like one side's lifting more than the other. To get around that, what we're going to do is one, we're going to train them one at a time, you know, like, yeah, legs, duh, but with a little bit of a difference. Whichever leg isn't working, you're going to bring that up onto the seat where you're sat, because that's where we sit, on the seat where we're sat. Where else are they going to put their foot? We're going to take our foot and put it on our forehead. I don't have the ability to do that. Just foot to But what you're going to do now is, you're going to make sure that you line up your hip with your knee. Because a lot of people's hips kind of twist a little bit, and we're going to avoid that by doing each leg singly. By bringing this leg up, it allows us to pin our hip back and line it up comfortably with our knee. So you'll find you maybe sit a little bit of a weird angle, but when you lift, what happens is all that load stays on the quad, the knee's in line with the hip, which is in line with the foot. So what we're not doing at any point is shifting that load off the quad and onto the knee. It's all staying up here. And however you want to put your toe, whether you want to turn it out to hit a little bit more of the teardrop or keep it straight to keep the weight up on that top of the quad, that's all you need to do. Mind to muscle again, so we're looking to lift, squeeze, and then lower, keeping those toes turned up. Don't get to the top and then let your foot go all flappy and just let it kick down, because that's going to cause rotation in the knee. We need to keep everything in the chain engaged. And by doing that, you should find you get a real focused lift that stays on the quad and off the knee. One leg at a time, rest in between those sets. 5 sets, then we'll move on. Watch this quad now because of the destabilization. On the negative, watch how hard it's having to work. So there's your contraction point. So we squeeze, you can see that squeeze. And the moment I take that squeeze off, look at it. Going absolutely crazy across the entire quad. And that's because that leg was a damaged side with the glute. And what it was used to doing was lazily letting the weight fall back down. So we're activating all of those lazy fibers that previously were bumming out at the top of the rep, releasing the weight and just letting the knee bend back down. Here now, we're almost drawing the weight back towards the body. So we're getting positive and negative stimulation, focus, and we're building that good mind to muscle mechanic. Oh, oh God. Ooh.
On a new adventure.
Yeah, one more. Oh my God. Son of a... So next up we're going to be doing the hack squat. Now with legs, I like to do leg exercise and then another leg exercise straight after because they're such big muscle groups. Once they're activated, I like to stay with them. With other body parts, I'll do intermittent. A little trick with the hack squat, the reason I found that I didn't do hack squats a lot was because it used to kill my knees. And I used to just think, oh, I'm not designed to do the hack squat. Nope, I was doing it completely wrong. I'm going to be the only dude training, aren't I?
A lot of people have just got straight to the good part.
Yeah, straight to the drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it. There's a certain gathering. There's less training and more partying about to commence. We're going to be the last ones standing, aren't we? But with the hack squat, what I found I was doing wrong was, because I have a tendency to have a pelvic tilt, which is where your pelvis tilts this way and you end up duck butting. I was going down with a duck butt and with my back arched. What I found now is if I slam my lower back into the pad and then also squeeze my glutes at the top and engage them, so I'm basically keeping my back nice and straight and not letting it arch at the lower point. You're pushing your lower back into the pad here, clearing that gap so there's no arch here. And now what that's going to do, you squeeze your glutes, you'll feel them be able to activate much more easily. What I'm not doing is letting the glutes and lower back be lazy, disconnecting, and then obviously throwing my hips forward, which then throws the weight off the quads and onto the knees the lower you get. So the whole time, my body posture was off, and that was what was causing my knee problem. So if you have a struggle on a hack squat, make sure that you're checking that your body posture is okay. What you're going to do is allow your knees to track over your feet if that's where they want to go, and that's going to help bring those glutes in a little bit more as well. So I'm pushing that lower back in, tight core. Then as I go down, here's where I normally start to feel the knee pain, because what would happen is the glutes would disengage, back would be all over the place, and the load would go on the knee and off from being loaded up on the quads down to the feet. So now by pushing that lower back in, letting my knees travel and focusing on keeping that weight in my feet, I can let it go down and all the weight is on my quads and I drive up through my feet, keeping that lower back pressed in. So as I drive up, what's not happening is my lower back isn't arching even further and pushing that body, because essentially my body was doing this as I came up or went down, and that was why it was hurting my knees. So if you just focus on this, keep it nice and light, maybe even do it without any weight on it, and just get used to going all the way through and getting that mind to muscle motion back into your body and stopping that pelvic tilt and that lower back arch, and you will find this is a really, really nice technical movement. Hack squat. It's not such an asshole after all. So I was being super cautious before because I haven't used this hack squat much, and especially with it being a mind to muscle week where the weight is relative to the reps, so you're usually doing 50% of your max. But because I'm previously shit at this and had muscular imbalance issues, I don't care if I'm only doing 20% of what my capability is, as long as I'm focusing and at that 10 rep range, it getting towards being my maximum potential. Now here we're focusing on pause at the bottom and holding that load across the glutes and quads and keeping it off the knee to not allow my hips to kick off on my upper body to completely release. I want to be pulling down on the handles, keeping that rear chain engaged and keeping everything rigid. This hurts me so much in my feet because my body's so used to holding an incorrect position on this. And this is what the Mind to Muscle Week is all about. Finding imperfections, fixing the imperfections, and getting more perfect at what you used to be terrible at. And you will see immediate benefits, immediate change. More importantly, this week, you will feel immediate change. This is my hand movement of the day. Okay. I'll be a good diver. Are you okay? I'm okay. Have you got any air left? I've got no air left. Big breath in helps really stabilize that core. Pause. Drive. Ooh, good. Pull and drive, pull and drive. Low back, low back, low back, low back. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, one more. Oh my God. Fuck yeah. The best 5 sets I've ever done on a hack squat. Amazing. Going from absolute knee pain, not being able to drop more than like a quarter of a rep on a hack squat, to doing full, deep, controlled reps. Whee doggy. Right, so we're moving on now, we're going to do back. I'm actually going to do back tricep, like I said before. One, because I want to pick up the pace so I can join in the clear fun that they're all having in the background. This is really bizarre, training and people drinking right next to me. It's kind of cool, I like it. I think we should have more bars in gyms. Moving on to the lat pull down, but in a little bit of a different way. Now, if you've followed me for a while, you might have seen this one already. But it's a really, really good one for making you think about working unilaterally and fixing any imbalances you might have, and also noticing if you have any hitch points, like shoulder coming up on one side or rotation that you shouldn't have in the body. And that's going to be the unilateral pull on the lat pull down, which looks a little bit like this. You're going to do everything you would do with a normal lat pull down. So your chest's going to stay up, you're going to allow a little arch in that lower back, but you're going to control your abs, and you're looking to pull down and squeeze. As you come back up, optionally, you can either let the scapula detract completely, and then you can retract it before pulling through, or if you're not too confident in that, keep your scapula retracted and just extend from the elbows fully, getting a full extension before pulling back through from the elbows. Everything we think about in this movement, think about pulling from the elbows. We're going to pull with one side at a time. I pull to the left and I squeeze that back muscle, but at the same time, this right side, what it's going to want to do if you stop thinking about it is bend slightly and rest like this, and that's what we don't want. I want that at full extension so that it gets used to being fully extended whilst I fully contract the other side. It's keeping the shoulders separated and at full mechanical range. Then what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to extend all the way up, fighting that negative with just my left side, back to a balance point in the middle, and then repeat. By making the resting side fully stabilize without contracting, you'll notice if you've got any weak shoulder abnormalities or postural issues where you can't stop your arm bending, you can't stop your shoulder jerking around, and that's what you're looking to fix. So the whole time, when we come back then to lifting heavy, dual is we're going to hopefully have a real even pull from side to side with a focused contraction on the back, even when we're lifting heavy weight. If anything ever confuses you, hit me up in the comments. And guys, if you see a comment you know the answer to, answer and help. That's what we're here to do.
I don't know what else to say now. I just need to numb it up. Well, maybe I'm done, maybe I've lost.
2 more. That's one. Oh, fuck. Too heavy. Lighten that load. So remember, Mind to Muscle Week is always 10 reps, and we're never looking to go to failure. We're looking to go to 1 to 2 before failure, and we're always looking at that positive and negative control the whole time. So triceps, I'm going to start with an underhand grip flat bar. Now a lot of people are like, that's no better than an overhand. Yeah, I know it's not, but I really like the grip and it takes a lot of pressure off my elbows. I'm able to really tuck my elbows tight and just drive through, and it really helps take out any kind of body weight movement for me. Try it. If you don't like it, switch out for something else. There's no hard and fast rule for exercises here. Do what you enjoy, do what you connect with well. Just try as many variations on grip as you can. But for this one, for me, what I like to do, I don't do this. I don't pull in and come to the base of a contraction, which so many do. You need to start where you're going to finish. Start right, finish right. So I'm going to pull my elbows in, nice and relaxed, and my back's doing all the work there. From here, I'm going to set my body. And that means glutes engaged to stop my hips swinging, lower core pulled in, and I'm squeezing my lats under my armpits, keep the whole rear chain engaged. So now I'm nice and rigid, but not stiff. So my knees are still soft, hip width apart. From here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to drive down, full extension and squeeze. But what I'm not doing is pulling into my body. So I'm making sure that my arms finish at an angle, and I like to do this with pretty much all of my tricep work. So I come down and squeeze, my arms are finishing straight, but technically they're out and away from my body. What I'm not being is stood upright and dragging it in. And then coming up to the top, I'm able to just come through with my elbows and come back to that start point. And I'm not bashing into my hips. Everything's clean and smooth. And this is what I do in all tricep movements. So try and integrate that, whichever grip you pick. And from here, as with every other mind to muscle thing, squeeze at the bottom, hold it for a second, focus that squeeze. Don't let any shoulders move around. And if they do, find out why, stop it, reset, and go again. Make everything really nice and strict and smooth and focused. Tricep underhand grip, 5 sets. Let's go. One more. That was a stinger. Gets me right here. The trick on these overheads, okay, a lot of time what we tend to want to do is as we pull through and we get to here, we want to kind of over pull and we end up kind of kicking back our body, or we end up rocking back on our feet like this instead of staying straight forward. And if you stay straight forward and keep your head where it starts and don't let it kick back, you'll actually find you only need to squeeze down to about here, because now your body will want to start moving back and you'll feel your bite, you'll feel the bite on your back about here. And that's where you squeeze. And think about rolling your elbows in and tucking under your armpits here as you get to there, and you'll feel it bite. Now, this is going to kick into your triceps, especially if you've just done them before, but allow that to happen. They are big stabilizers on this, but overall, it's not an excessive movement. Try and stay leaning forward and keep that weight length forward as you come down and bite on top of it. Don't let that weight track back. It hurts, mama. Right, let's go. Last but not least, I want to just chime in with this tricep kickbacks. It's a classic, but it's one that's kind of messed up a lot. Simplify the movement, make it work for you. 10 kilograms on this might actually be too heavy for a mind to muscle week, but I'm going to try anyway. The main thing that I noticed on this, a lot of people, this swing all day. I can do that. We're looking to start, stop at every point. So to get this one right, make sure that you are planting your lead arm and keeping your body parallel. We're going to pull in our lower core, and we're going to load the weight onto our glute quad and drive it down into our feet. From here, take the dumbbell, you're going to draw your elbow up to your hip line, and this is our start point. Don't be too far forward, let it nice and relaxed and hang. From here, we're thinking about keeping our elbow fixed, and we're kicking back, squeezing, then coming back and stopping at that start point. By stopping at that start point, what we're doing is focusing that movement and getting the full mechanics, and we're taking all the momentum out of that upward motion. And by not letting our elbow kick up, we're taking the shoulder out and keeping it nice and stable. So think about this. Simplify, keep everything parallel, and really squeeze through. If you struggle, drop the damn weight, pick up a lighter one, and do it properly. There's no shame in dropping weight to get a better rep. So here, squeeze, hold, and down. That weight is actually better for me. That's 6 kilos. Oh, I can kill myself on 6 kilos. And if you can't kill yourself on a lighter weight, ooh, how do you think that you're doing it properly on the heavy weight anyway? Oh, tricep kickbacks. Final exercise of the day. And then we're going to go and enjoy this party. to Muscle Week's over. Next week, we're back to volume, back to kicking its ass. If you haven't seen any of the previous videos that follow the training and follow everything we've done, make sure to go back through the videos, follow them. We're on to about episode 9 now, I think. This is 10. Make sure that you go and watch episodes 1 through to 9, and you'll be fully caught up. And I promise you, once you start this style of training, you're going to enjoy the gym again. You're going to have less injuries, you're going to have more progression, you're going to feel better, and there's less chance of you falling off the wagon. Especially if we all get together in the comment section, talk about the problems, talk about the fixes, focus on the fixes, and make this a positive and motivating atmosphere. That's all we need, just like what's in this gym. Whew.